An internet outage affected millions of people and may have cost billions of dollars, all because Amazon's AWS web service went down overnight. The cloud service provider supports countless companies' websites, from finance services like Venmo to social media apps like Snapchat to restaurants like the 99. As Julie McDonald found out, local businesses were not immune.
Closed on Sundays, Maha Juice Bar banks on big business Monday mornings. But at the downtown Norwood spot, known for acai bowls and smoothies, this Mondayest of Mondays was anything but smooth.
Today, Toast was offline all day, still is. So we lost hundreds of orders, not just this location, but all the other locations. Even the credit card machine was offline, so we don't know when we're going to receive the credit card orders that went through today.
The health food restaurant with locations in Cambridge and Franklin was one of the many victims of a massive outage across Amazon Web Services, which acts as a backbone for much of the internet.
AWS or Amazon accounts for about 1/3 of all the internet traffic globally. Hospital services, airlines, they all have their infrastructures on one form of Amazon. The government uses Amazon Web Services.
Experts estimate the outage could cost billions, and even as many platforms return online, business owners are holding their breath, bracing for the fallout. At Golden Salon in Walpole, stylists shared in this painful reminder of our online dependence. Very few customers carry cash and discovered they couldn't send gratuity by Venmo.
And unfortunately, if somebody doesn't send them right away, they forget, things happen. And you don't want to send a text reminder. It's just that comes off rude.
Sarah just opened her own salon in August, and she feels the weight of worrying how issues impact her team.
This is 13 years in the hair industry, and it's been a dream since the very beginning. It's a learning curve for sure. It's, it's not just me, it's now me and 5 others behind the chair.
In Walpole, Julie McDonald, WBZ News.
So you're through trusting in Amazon. I didn't know Amazon was connected to so many different things, but if that gets shut down, man, it's crazy, man. But the scriptures do talk about a time in Egypt when darkness, but that kind of made me think about just how anything can happen when especially when you go digital, how frail the system is. You can't trust in Esau's technology. It's not perfect. Nothing that he creates is going to be perfect. So you relying on it, it's gonna fail you.
Breaking now, an international manhunt underway after masked thieves stole priceless jewels from the most famous museum in the world, the Louvre. Still shuttered after French crown jewels, literally, including a sapphire tiara and an emerald necklace set among 1,000 diamonds, were taken in a wild 7-minute heist on Sunday. Only 4 of those minutes were spent inside the museum. The rest was getting in and out undetected. You don't do that without prior planning. Isasaurus is out front.
That's what you get. He stole it anyways. He stole everything he has, and then now he get good. Hope they pawned it somewhere.
Welcome back, everyone. As the Trump administration has ramped up immigration enforcement, it has also called on those in the country without legal status to self-deport to their home countries. There are some 4.7 million households with a mix of U.S. citizens and non-citizens, and now some are making the difficult decision to break up their families in order to avoid detention and deportation. Matt Rivers, along with our ABC-owned station WTVD in Raleigh, North Carolina, followed one such family making that difficult choice.
At the Rivera household in suburban Raleigh.
Nigga got skulls and shit in front of his house. And you wonder why you getting deported. Israel never knows why things happen to them. It's just a mistake. Got death all in front of your crib, man.
Did you go?
It may look like a typical weekend. Fidel and Jennifer Rivera taking on daughter Isabella at card games.
Put the sticks down, bruh.
cheering on their older daughter, Mackenzie, at the soccer field. But for this family, these everyday moments are precious and fleeting.
I'm gonna miss my wife and I'm gonna miss my kids.
Fidel and Jennifer just celebrated their 17th wedding anniversary. But Fidel is undocumented, coming to the U.S. from Mexico in 1995.
There was no jobs, and I decided to come in over here to look for a better future.
The only thing that he's ever done wrong was come here without documentation.
Without any legal status, he risks being detained and deported. And together, they have now made the agonizing decision for Fidel to self-deport alone.
To give the peace to my wife and to my kids. I don't want they see me and they in handcuffs with chains in the jail.
This is not an unfounded fear.
We started seeing people that were being picked up for dumb things, like not criminals. I did not want my husband wrapped up in that.
The second Trump administration's aggressive immigration
He got a grass fucking cutter in his hand. They grabbing him by his neck.
enforcement has escalated the risk of detention. Currently, nearly 60,000 people are being held by ICE. Almost half have no criminal record, only immigration violations.
I'm Christy Nome.
Part of the government's campaign,
Oh, no, not this harlot.
self-deport now.
President Trump has a clear message for those that are in our country illegally. Leave now.
That's his clear message to everybody, man. That's funny. That's funny, man. What else I got? Guess there was supposedly a mass shooting today.
What hurt? How did you get? What are you? Welcome to 2025. How are you? How did you get? What are your reasons at the airport right now?
What now?
Why are you at the airport?
Oh, I'm just here. What I hurt?
What kind of car you drive?
Huh?
What kind of car do you drive?
I got dropped off.
You got dropped off. Okay, we just have a situation going on.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Yeah, you does have a dog. Officer, yeah, pleasure. Billy?
Yes, ma'am.
16 radio. Is the guy named Billy?
No.
Billy. All right, we have hands. Put your hands behind your back, sir. Put your hands behind your back.
You fucking.
You're my phone. No. It's filming.
Oh my God, man.
You're my phone.
You can't cuff
What
him.
did I hurt? What did I hurt? It's my phone.
Man, you need 2 cuffs.
Just show us one more detail that fit in the description. We're gonna head back to the precinct to confirm.
This isn't the garage.
Damn. Did he have a gun on him or what? Like, what else? Anyways, man. Craziness. Craziness. That was supposedly a mass shooting that was thwarted. I think the word that they use. Exodus, when there was darkness. Exodus 10. Exodus 10:21. Exodus 10, verse 21, darkness over the land. Well, actually, it's not really about darkness, but you know, Amazon doing that, it just goes to show you, man, this, you don't want to have anything with Esau's tech inside of you, man, honestly. But overnight, man, things can just turn. As a matter of fact, the government shut down. That's what I wanted to see. When did the government shutdown start?
These federal workers getting fired permanently since Friday during the shutdown. Setback now on that for the Trump administration, because in just the last few hours, a federal judge has stopped those firings for now, saying they are not legal. So that's where things stand as of tonight, as of Wednesday night. That's after, remember, a couple of unions sued last month over that so-called RIF plan. RIFs, that's D.C. speak for reductions in force. So this judge now says the Trump administration has taken advantage of the lapse in government spending and government functioning to assume that all bets are off. And that judge has now temporarily pressed pause. Julie Sirkin is joining us now. Key words here, Julie, temporary, for now, because this is not permanent, presumably, and I don't know that we have any filings on this, the Trump administration will push back. It is their goal to implement some of these permanent firings during this shutdown. Not a furlough where people don't go to work, they don't get paid, but they don't lose their jobs. This is something different altogether.
Absolutely. And when I talked to an official with the administration over the weekend, they told me, look, to expect more reduction in forces, that is not the end of the road. Those 4,000 employees that they have laid off across agencies, the administration wants to make this even harder so they can continue putting pressure on Democrats, who in their words they see as the key to unlocking the shutdown. The unions pushed back pretty heavily on this and on the decision. The biggest union, the union represents the largest amount of federal workers in the country, the president of that union saying, quote, "We are pleased with the court's ruling, halting these unlawful terminations and preventing the administration from further targeting hardworking civil servants during the shutdown." I talked to Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia.
I just want to know when this shit started, man. Federal government has been shut down for 20 days and 44 minutes. I'm sure there's like, can you bet on this or something, man? I think the most is 35 days, but who knows, man? Who knows? As a matter of fact, everyone keep talking about EBT shit, so I want to see. Let me see if you just EBT benefits. USDA warns a SNAP funding shortfall due to shutdown. Ooh.
Roku's self-serve ads platform.
It's almost that time.
14 to the government shutdown, and there's no indication of any progress being made in Congress ending the stalemate between Republicans and Democrats.
Last week, thousands of federal workers across 7 agencies received layoff notices. Today, the White House Budget Office said it was prepared to ride out the shutdown with more layoffs. And soon, the tens of thousands of people here in North Carolina who depend on food nutrition benefits could be caught in the middle of this debate. Elena Athens on that potential impact, all new at 6 o'clock.
DHHS says it's been using available funds from last year to keep SNAP benefits in place, but agency officials aren't sure what will happen next month and just received a notice. The state health department tells Eyewitness News it recently received a letter from the USDA that November benefits will be disrupted if the federal shutdown continues. Parties are no closer to a deal to replenish spending. DHHS says it's hopeful it can continue offering SNAP benefits to 1.4 million North Carolinians every day. The program specifically helps approximately 582,000 children as of this past Sunday.
The stakes are high because we're talking about infants and children.
SNAP helps to put healthy and nutritious food options on the table. Families could soon receive a notification if the stalemate drags on in Washington.
If funding is not provided and WIC program must shut down, then we will assure the public that we will provide 3 days notice to participants so that they are able to redeem all of their benefits.
DHHS says if federal funding is not approved, it would place an even greater strain on already stretched thin food banks and community-based organizations. In Raleigh, Elena Athens, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Hey, we're about to shut this place.
For the 11th time,
Federal government shut down SNAP food benefit. I'll watch this one too. They're about to shut all this down, man. Even if you ain't on EBT and you can afford to buy your food, you ain't gonna have it either. Okay? You ain't gonna have enough to pay for what this devil got up his sleeve. Revelation 6 verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So this a measure of wheat for a penny going into a day's pay just to pay for some bread. So You know, if you don't have a job, how are you gonna afford to eat bread? If you don't have, especially if it's a day's pay. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna do what what happened in Genesis the 47th chapter. You're gonna sell your soul. You're gonna sell your body as a servant to Pharaoh. A Roman silver coin in New Testament time, it took its name from its being equal to 10 asses, a number after 217 BC increased to 16. It was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. From the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wages. And he already ain't paying you. He already ain't even paying you. Leviticus 19 verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. So he's not supposed to take your money. I mean, he's supposed to pay you by the end of the day. Deuteronomy 24 verse 14. Thou shalt not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. At his day thou shalt give him his hire. Neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor, and setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry against thee unto the Lord, and it be sin unto thee. So you're supposed to pay him at the end of the day before you cry unto the Lord, and it be accounted as sin unto him. And this is what he's doing. He's the man of sin. Okay? He's the man of sin. Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Okay, so the falling away first is that we were going to be discontinued from our heritage according to Jeremiah 17:4. And the man of sin, which is Esau Edom, he hasn't been revealed as being the devil. Now he is. If you don't know who the devil is, then you just a complete reprobate. Okay, the son of perdition. Perdition means destruction. Let's look it up. Perdition, a state of eternal punishment and damnation into which a sinful and impenitent person passes after death. Okay, damnation. Hell. Okay, so he's being revealed for being the devil, breaking all the laws in the Bible. Okay, this is who Paul was prophesying about. But now he's being revealed. Is that it with that? Let me see. Let me see what she's saying.
Voted on but did not pass a resolution. For the 11th time, senators voted on but did not pass a resolution to bring temporary funding to the federal government. So the shutdown already has lasted nearly 3 full weeks. The House has not even convened since the shutdown, and Democrats are no closer to getting some Republicans to agree on extending Affordable Care Act subsidies that are set to expire. Republicans are expected to put forward a bill to pay only troops and essential federal employees, but that too is unlikely to pass. State health officials warn that if the government does not reopen in a few days, food assistance for millions of Texans could be cut off. Fox 4.
What about Boston?
Where's Amelia Jones?
Because the other episode talked about North Carolina. This is talking about Texas. So the longer it is, the less likely it's, the more likely it's going to affect you if you are on government assistance. Okay, this is why the scriptures tell you, arise ye and depart. This is not your rest. If you're comfortable eating out of the hand of Esau, man, you're through. Okay, what's that scripture? A man who's willing to live in another man's house, KJV. It's in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiastes 29:22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house. For it is a miserable life to go from house to house, for where thou art a stranger, thou darest not open thy mouth. Let's go into this. Let's go in. Cannot generate an AI explanation. Try selecting a different word or phrase. So it's pretty much saying, better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage. You know, mean meaning average. A cottage is like a house made out of sticks. Okay? Like a poor man living, you know, just the basic necessities. Basic house, you know, everything basic, then delicate fare in another man's house. But I want to see what this means, because you pretty much living in another man's house, being comfortable. Ultimately, you're in Esau's house. This is his kingdom, okay? And you're comfortable eating with what he gives you. But the problem with that is when he takes it away, you're going to be willing to do whatever he tells you to do to get it back. And that's the problem with most of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You forgot that you're a servant, you're a slave. Okay, so by having that proper understanding and understanding why you're in this position in the first place, then you can move according to how to get out of that, okay? Ultimately, it's your mindset that needs to change. Okay, Micah 2 verse 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with the sword destruction. Okay, this polluted land that you live in will destroy you if you trust in it. If you trust that he's going to always take care of you and all of that, you're going to be through. Meaning you're going to die because you don't trust in the Lord. You trust in him, who's the son of perdition, who's the man of sin. Okay, and he's going to give you an MOTB device that's not going to benefit you in any way. It's literally going to give you a grievous sword, the scriptures call it. But this sword destruction goes into you having judgment from the Lord. Isaiah 36:6, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, wherein if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. In the modern day Pharaoh's Esau, and if you trust in him, then the same thing can happen to you. Okay. 1 Timothy 6:6, but godliness with contentment is great gain. Okay, godliness meaning being obedient, enduring into the end, preserving the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that would be considered godliness. With contentment, you know, you content, you don't need more than what the Lord is giving you, is great gain. Okay, so that's what you need to learn how to be, is content. Because there's going to be a time when no one's going to be able to eat. Like I just brought out Revelation, the 6th chapter, where it talks about a measure of penny for wheat or for some bread. So a whole day's pay for some bread, that's unsustainable. So even if you have some money, eventually you're not going to be able to afford it consistently anymore, because he's going to make you take the MOTB in order to buy or sell. Like it says in Revelation 13, 1 Timothy 6:8, and having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Okay, having food and raiment, clothes and food. Not a house, but clothes and food. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. All right? Which is death. Okay? And I don't know if I gave double honors to the apostles and elders. But I'm going to give them double honors again. And let me give it all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rechak Wadash, and give them GMS a double honors. Okay, because this is where I learned this truth from. 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, a lot of people covet after money, covet after the things that Esau has. You don't want to be coveting after these things. Okay, his food, his system, all of that, man. You want to be building yourself up in the Lord so he could, your faith will be built up. Because a man can't live by bread alone. Okay, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Heavenly Father. They have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Okay, for money is the root of all evil. Okay, it's not evil, it's the love of money that's the problem. Because money brings you everything you think you need, but it's ultimately coming from the Lord. Okay, but this system that he has is not righteous. So long story short, that love for money that you have is going to get you pierced through with many sorrows. Okay, and that's going back to you being destroyed. Okay, trusting in this damn devil, man. Okay, he's not the one. Ecclesiasticus 29 verse 22 meaning. This verse teaches about contentment and independence. It is better to live humbly and simply in your own home, even if it's small and poor, than to live luxuriously depending on someone else. Okay, and that's what you're doing over here in Babylon. Okay, you're gonna live luxuriously in slavery, pretty much. Mean cottage means a lowly or humble dwelling, a small, simple home. Delicate fare refers to fine or expensive food and luxuries. This message is that freedom and self-reliance, even in poverty, are better than comfort that comes with dependency or servitude. Okay? And the only freedom you have is in Yahweh Shai. So, why not seek him? It reminds us that peace of mind and dignity are worth more than material wealth or fancy surroundings that cost you independence or self-respect. And it's really going to cost you if you take it, because like I said, the MOTB is going to cost you your life, man, your salvation. Proverbs 15:16, better is little with fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox in hatred therewith. True wealth is peace and righteousness, not luxury or abundance. Right? Going back to being content with what the Lord has given you. And he's given us a lot, especially when it comes to your health, this wisdom to comfort you. But a lot of people don't see they think wisdom ain't gonna feed your belly. Well, Esau might, that temporarily, you're gonna have to eat after your belly's full. And eventually, according to Ezekiel, I think the 5th chapter, he tells you, man, he gonna increase it till there ain't no more. Ezekiel 5:17, so will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee in pestilence. Actually, let me start up. Ezekiel 5:16, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, in which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you and will break your staff of bread, which is your stability of eating. Okay, that's what this EBT is going into. It's going into Ezekiel 5:16, where your stability, him breaking your staff is for stability of bread, is what you eat or how you eat, or in order to get the job so you can pay for yourself to eat. Okay, he's gonna increase the famine. He can do that in multiple ways, especially increasing how much things cost, through hyperinflation, going in back to that day's penny. But he don't even like to pay you. He's supposed to pay you at the end of the day. Okay, but he's not. They're saying they'll give you 3 days notice when they're about to cut it off, but that ain't even gonna matter. The people who are already cut off, because they're already online talking about how they're gonna be robbing and stealing. And that's the worst, because the people who are not getting paid, who haven't been paid for the last 20 days, they're not robbing and stealing in stores, and they're not even on EBT. You know, they're not, you don't hear about people going in the stores just robbing shit, coming out in order to feed their families. They're more stable than you mentally, but you who always had your hand out, when it's told to you that you can't have something, you're gonna go batshit crazy. Okay, you're gonna get yourself destroyed. You're gonna get locked up. You might even get put to death over bread. So going back to Matthew the 24th chapter, where it says the love of money many shall wax cold. When it's time to feed all them damn kids that you got, your love is gonna wax cold. Okay, you'll be surprised what you're gonna do when you know it's time for your kids to eat, man. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, in which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you. So this is what he's doing. He's increasing the famine upon you. You know, your money, your food, your beef is increased. It costs more to eat beef now. It costs more for eggs. Eventually it's going to cost more to the point it's broken. Because he's saying, I'll break your staff of bread. So he's going to increase it until it's broken. Then there ain't going to be no food to purchase. But for some strange reason, you're going to have a stock market that's still up. It's going to look like everything's good, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be good, man. 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, that's your staff of bread being broken. 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 22, meaning. Esdras. Meaning this verse is part of Ezra's vision of the end time calamities before the coming of the Messiah and the restoration of Israel. So even chat knows there's a restoration of Israel that needs to happen. It speaks of sudden desolation and famine, a collapse of the systems that provide food and stability, like your EBT. Sown places appear unsown. The farmlands that were once fruitful will suddenly fail. Crops will not grow or will be destroyed. Full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Even great reserves of food, markets, warehouses, granaries will be depleted in an instant, showing how quickly judgment and scarcity can strike. And that's another thing with that Amazon situation, man. A lot of your stuff is going to be, you order a lot of things via Amazon. I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future that other apps that you use to purchase food isn't using Amazon's platform in order for you to make a purchase. But eventually he's going to control that too. You're going to need the MOTB to be in to have access to the internet anyways. Okay, so some of us are prepared, and we get mentally we're not here anymore, man. We're not here anymore. This shit that's going on in the world, man, it's just like clear as day. People are self-deporting. You know, scriptures don't tell you to just get up and go. Micah 2:10 is a mindset you gotta leave, man. Okay, this devil's not in charge of that fear that you have. Oh, they might come get me, and you've been here 30 years. That dude been here 30 years, nothing happened to him. Okay? And now that's that. You ain't got no hope. You ain't got no faith, man. Like the Lord can't protect you. Okay? And that's the type of mindset that's going to get a lot of people destroyed in these last days. That's the type of mindset. You know what? Let's go to Esau. And he said he'll buy me a plane ticket to go to my home. You might not make it home, man. He might not send you home. That's another way of you trusting your enemy. Same way you got here, if you really wanted to self-deport, I'd just go walk back over. You know? Arise ye and depart. This is not your rest, man. It speaks of sudden desolation and famine, a collapse of the systems. It symbolizes how security and abundance will vanish overnight, and only those trusting in the Most High will endure. So that's what you need to be focused on. But y'all claim y'all love the Lord. You know, you ask them, oh yeah, of course I love the Lord. Jesus Christ. But this ain't talking about him. Jesus Christ is going to be the reason why you die, because you believe in a false God. Okay, you believe in Esau. Because that's who Jesus Christ represents. You have the so-called white man in your mind when you pray. So you're completely done. Isaiah 24, 1, 3, and 7. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty and maketh it waste. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. The new wine mourneth and the vine languisheth. It says the earth will lose its prosperity. All systems of supply will collapse. That's right. That's also talking about the thermonuclear destruction that's coming over here. Okay. The new wine is mourning. Or the vine languishing. Yeah, the vine. Me going into Isaiah 32nd chapter. Let me grab that. Because you women, y'all are the ones that are going to be the most affected. Y'all love pleasure. And a lot of you men too, because your mama raised you like a woman. So you got those woman mindsets. You're not built for suffering, and that ain't really for. And no one really ain't been through the suffering that the Lord will put us through. But the point of the matter is the dynamic of why people act the way they do. It's because of convenience. It's because of Esau made it easy, very easy and soft. Okay, it's a soft life where you everything's just handed over to you. So when it's taken away, you're gonna cry for it, and that's not the mindset you want to be in, man. Okay, the mindset you want to be in is preparing your mind for more affliction that's coming, and hoping the Lord will increase your spirit with the days that are coming. If you ain't paying attention, you think tomorrow's gonna be the same as yesterday, and that's not the case. Because suddenly, in an instant, these things are gonna happen, and a lot of y'all ain't gonna be prepared. Isaiah 32 and 9, rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Now, this is talking to women, but it also applies to men too. If you relying on the same assistance like these women are, you're going to be put in the same position. Being at ease. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Going back to the vine, languishing. Okay, the things that produce that you'd like to eat, that's going to be gone. It's going to fail. You trusting in it, it's going to fail you. The gathering shall not come because there's going to be nothing to gather. Okay, the markets, nothing going to be in there suddenly in an instant. Okay, these trucks, it'll start with robbing the stores, then they'll be going for the trucks. Some of these truck drivers ain't going to be bringing the route to its destination. Not only because gas prices or whatever, it's going to be because it's not going to be safe to do it. Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make ye bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. And you want to be in the mourning state. That's why the men are doing what they're cleaving unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And you should be cleaving unto your man, but you ain't in order. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Lamenting for the teats is government assistance. You're going to be crying over that again. You're going to be needing help. Okay, and EVT is a form of lamenting for the teats. Y'all are already lamenting. He ain't even take it away yet. Just the thought of you losing it makes you afraid, showing you how connected you are to Esau. For the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine, you know, your EBT, so you can grab whatever the hell you want. Being comfortable in somebody else's house is not a good state to be in. Because the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the cities shall be left, the forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks. Let me look into Isaiah 32 and 14. Isaiah 32 verse 14. The verse prophesies the desolation of Jerusalem and the cities of Judah because of their rebellion against the Most High. Isaiah is describing how once glorious places filled with luxury and people will become ruins, abandoned, and inhabited by wild animals and flocks instead of people. The palaces shall be forsaken. The homes of the wealthy and rulers will be left empty, a symbol of judgment against pride and oppression. The multitude of the city shall be left. The busy, populated city will be deserted, its inhabitants scattered or taken into captivity. The forts and towers shall be for dens forever. Strongholds and defense towers will become ruins, serving as dens for beasts instead of fortresses of men. A joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks, the wild donkeys and grazing animals will freely roam where people once lived, a vivid image of total desolation and abandonment. Right. Second address, nope, there's a better precept than that. So the world that you live in today is going to be flipped upside down. It's going to be desolate. People are going to be fighting over food and goods. So this is all prophecy. Okay, and it's getting closer to Isaiah 4:1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Okay, so you're going to want a man of the Lord to take away the reproach of being single in these last days, because it's not going to benefit you to not be with a man of the Lord. All right, you're going to know, first of all, judgment is going to be everywhere. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped to Israel. And that's talking about when we get into the kingdom. Okay, and it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem, which are the elect, when the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. Okay, going into these different afflictions. Okay, that purging. Ultimately, Jacob's trouble. That's how he's gonna purge you through that spirit, the spirit of judgment. That's what's coming. And the Lord Yahweh will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day and the shining of a flaming fire by night, for upon all the glory shall be a defense. And that's the Lord defending his elect. You know, just like he did when we were coming out of Egypt. When Pharaoh was behind us, he was a pillar of fire by day and what do you say? A pillar of fire by day and something by night. Pillar of fire. I know it's in Exodus, I think 16 maybe. pillar of fire. Nope, 13. Exodus 13 and 17. And it came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. So this is after the Exodus of Egypt. But God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. Went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. Let's see what this word harness means. Hamas.
Strong's H2571. Hamash.
It says in battle array, array for battle by fives, armed. Oh, they were strapped. Exodus 13 and 19, and Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from the before the people. Okay, so just like he did then, he's going to do that now. He's going to be protecting us. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a covert from the storm and from rain. Okay, and that's for the elect. All right, and if he's going to do that for his elect, that's how a man of the Lord's going to be a covert from the storm for you women. What is that? Isaiah 32. In verse 2, I start at the top. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. That's the Yahweh Shai and the elect. And a man shall be a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So that's why you need a man of the Lord. Okay, so you can escape judgment. Isaiah 13 and 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Okay, and that's precious gold. All right, a man. So that's what the Lord's going to do with that. Okay. Ezekiel 7, 14 through 19, they have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. They shall cast their silver in the streets, their gold shall not deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. That's the destruction, but none of this money is going to be able to save you. You're going to need the MOTB. Amos 8 and 11 through 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And that's another famine that's coming. It's the famine of the word. Haggai 1 and 6, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye have looked for much, and lo, it come to little. Yeah, you know, going back to you working so much, and basically it's like you putting it into a bag with holes. That's sort of like what's going to happen with the hyperinflation. Luke 12 and 20, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So you're storing up food now to prepare for the day, but the Lord's the one who's going to require your soul. Sudden loss of stored goods reflects the fragility of man's security. So even if you know this is coming and you think you can prevent it by storing up food somewhere, that's not going to save you, man. That's not going to save you. But I'm going to end it right here. Lord's will, this was edifying. Shalom.